Have you ever caught yourself wondering, why does it feel like I'm constantly dealing with challenges and successfully failing at them? Or maybe after making a mistake, especially when you were trying not to, thinking, why do I always mess up? It's always my fault. Whether we realize it or not, we are constantly telling ourselves about the roles we play in our own stories. But these roles, they're often just limited to two of kinds: victim or villain. It's a victim when we feel like we're trapped in some unwanted episodes of our life. It's a villain when we feel like we are the reason behind those unwanted episodes of our life. But what if the way we process these thoughts shape not just how we feel but who we become? As we navigate life, its challenges, its journey, deal with people, many of us instinctively lean into one of these characters. Let's start with the victim mindset. It refers to a way of thinking where we perceive ourselves as some helpless underdog of external circumstances. But why? Why do we feel like a victim in the first place, and why is there a weird sense of relief to feel like a sufferer? One of the biggest reasons is coping mechanism. Okay, have you ever met people who are like extremely sarcastic, unconventionally funny, even in difficult times of their life? It's because it's their coping mechanism. This is how they deal with the adversities in their life, through their humor. Similarly, this victim mindset helps us to cope with our stress, fear, past traumas, etc. by acting like a temporary escape from our discomfort, by telling us that whatever just happened was not our fault and that there's nothing we can do about it. Now, there's a psychological term used for this. It's called learned helplessness. It refers to a situation where someone feels unable to change their problem, like fix the problem, even when they have the opportunity to do so. And the symptoms behind this are quite common: lack of motivation, procrastination, low self-esteem, etc. But even though all of it might seem quite relatable, be careful, because this can lead to a rather negative slope in our life. And the funny thing is, most of these external circumstances that makes us feel like a complete loser are sometimes created by none other than us. Which brings us to the other side of a narrative, the villain mindset. Instead of believing that life is working against us, we believe that we are the problem, that every setback, every failure, every mistake is the reflection of our own flaws. And again, the causes behind this are quite obvious: self-hate, self-blame, self-loathing, etc. But don't think that blaming yourself completely is any better than blaming others, or that being a villain is any better than being a victim. Because this will lead you to have a self-sabotaging life and would prevent you from accomplishing your goals. Now I hope you must have noticed two things from my talk. One is that there's a sense of helplessness even in feeling like a villain. And two, both of these mindsets conclude, or let's say leads to the same thing: failure, depression, frustration, and perpetual self-pity. Now the question arises, what can we do about it? Okay, before coming to that solution part, let me just give you some more information. There are cognitive distortions in us. These are irrational patterns of thinking that twist the way we see the world. It twists the way we interpret things for ourselves. Now, there are many cognitive distortions out there, but I'll talk about the two of them. First is all or nothing thinking. It refers to a person when that person only sees the world in a black and white way. Something is either completely right or something is either completely wrong, with no middle ground. Second is mental filtering. When you only focus on the negative aspects of life, completely ignoring the positives. Now, these cognitive distortions somehow indirectly or indirectly lead to this victim-villain mindset. And I know a lot of you would be like, we can't relate to this and this doesn't happen. But trust me, it does. These distortions creep into our lives and without us even realizing it. And then they limit the way we see our life. Now, when we come to the solution part, the first and the most important step is awareness. Look, I'm not asking you to erase these thoughts when you acknowledge them. I'm just asking you to recognize them and challenge them and reframe them. See, You have the pen to your life. So why not become an author of an empowering narrative? The one where you're in control, where you are changing and growing and constantly becoming a better version of yourself. You won't get it perfect, and that's okay. Because you're not supposed to write a flawless story, but rather a meaningful one. So next time, when you choose to tell yourself a narrative, ask yourself, is this one of the possibility or one of the limitation?